Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Behind the Group podcast. I am DJ Keo.
And I am Basil Barrington, and we are back with another episode of Foundation. Episode number 3, King and Commoner. IMDb gave this a 7.3. Today is Monday. So you would think that, after a while, after a few days, it would be higher. But this doesn't have a lot of reviews either, like maybe 440 reviews. So,
I
yeah.
think this is one of the better shows this season. To be honest,
Yeah.
it set up stuff in a better way for future stuff.
Yeah.
It's more interesting, I would
Yeah.
say.
I think so as well. I mean, they had basically, it looked like they had like maybe 3 or 4 things going on.
Yeah,
And
there's
I mean,
storylines.
they
Yeah.
introduced new characters, new worlds, new planets, the whole nine. And some really interesting stuff. I have some opinions about things like, because I was like, oh, okay. Yo, you know what? This season, every episode thus far, 3 episodes in, Day continues to impress me.
Yeah, I like Day a lot. I
Yeah.
like him. I like it. I like the character of Day.
Now, do you think that he's a lot more gregarious, fun, and everything else because of his taintedness?
He's more of a wild card because I think before they're kind of consistent about what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
And he's just winging it. He has no
Yeah.
idea what he's doing. He's
Right.
just winging it. That's what makes him interesting.
hmm
Because he's really flawed and he has no idea what he's doing. Like he's like the scene where him and Darmazel are watching the guy, the commander, what's his name, Bel?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bel
they're just
Riose.
sitting there watching him, and she's like rubbing his head, like, "Yo, this guy's so desperate for attention. He has no idea what he's doing. He's hoping he's right, but she's leading everything.
Exactly. Does he feel? You think he feels weaker now that he has like this, corruption in his DNA code? Do you think he feels weaker as Day?
Yeah. He's insecure.
Yeah.
I think that's the word to say.
Mhm.
He definitely feels insecure about if he's doing a good job, his decision making. Because this was Deborah was the one that went and got this guy. It was her idea to go get him. It was her idea to bring him back.
Mhm.
And he's like, well, he even said it on the throne. He's like, yeah, this was her thing. I don't know. We're gonna see. We're gonna try it out, see what happens. Like that was his impression. I don't know. Like it seems like she's in charge. Really, she's running the government now.
Hey, like I said, man, last episode, it would not surprise me if Demoiselle is like doing the whole thing, from start to end. Like, she corrupted the dynasty, the whole nine. It wouldn't surprise me.
Well, she is self-interest for sure.
Yeah.
100% she's self-interest. But like, because she's the one that these 3 guys trust the most at any given time when they're in power. So she's telling them what to think from birth up until they get on the throne. And then they rely on her information or her thought about what to do. So, I mean, basically, she is running it. She tells it to them in a way that makes them feel like they made the decision on their own.
Right.
But it's really her decision.
Mm-hmm.
And she's immortal, so that's even crazier.
Yeah, and she's very good at that. She's almost like a cult leader. She gives these days, she gives like the empires, like you said, exactly what they want to hear, exactly what they want. She does it all. But then I think she also powerful. She's way more powerful for sure. You want to give a brief overview, then we can get into it.
So there's 3 main storylines. So you got the Empire getting the commander from the penal colony, and he's all disheveled. And so we have that story. We have Gaal flying to a planet with the Harry, and she's yelling and screaming over there on the planet. and then we got the cultists. They're basically cultists.
Yeah.
Going to save this Hobor guy, whatever his name is.
Hobor Mallow.
Hobor Mallow, to go save him. And that's the 3 major storylines.
Yeah.
So like it's setting up what the future of this season is going to be. So we can start with Gaal. Gaal flew to this planet by Harry. He just took them over there. It's like they thought they were going somewhere else, and he's like, "Yeah, we got to do this, man." And they're just crying and yelling. So the interesting is that Harry gets a body, which was interesting to
He's
me.
a
So he's got
biological
autonomy
now.
now. Yeah, he's got autonomy now. He doesn't need the was it the Matrix thing,
Yeah.
walking around with it. So that was fascinating. Gail's still driving me crazy, man. The scenes of her frustrate me so much because she doesn't act like a mathematician.
Or
like she's emotional.
Or how about this? Let's not forget Salvor is her daughter. How about acting like a mother, an adult, in front of your daughter?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Salvor's looking for her guidance. You just told Salvor that she's gonna die, and she's like, "All right, I don't know what to tell you." He's like, "You gonna comfort her? You got nothing to say." And terrible motherhood. All right, terrible, just terrible parenting. But like Gail is a character, awful. I would say she's as bad as what's that girl from Halo?
Quan.
She's not that bad. Quan. She's not Quan level, but my patience is wearing thin every time I see Gail, because Harry explained to her, "I cannot tell you everything because you're gonna corrupt it yourself. So I gotta give you the basics and set you on the right path." He told her that. She understands the mathematics of this whole thing. Like, she understands it and why, and she's still crying about it. Like, that's just it drives me crazy. Anyways, to me, the best part of the show is the Empire thing when they're getting the general. That is fascinating.
Bel Riose, that was pretty dope.
Yeah, I like him as a character because, like, he's like, "Yo, I want to punch you in the face, like rip your face off," what he said, and then he's like, "But yo, my allegiance is to the was it the Empire?
Yeah.
So you're my emperor. So like, it is what it is."
Yeah.
He's like, "It is what it is. Like, yo, you throw me in this jail because I did the right thing. You know, I did the right thing anyway. You're gonna punish me because I did the right thing. It's ridiculous." But yeah, and we learned another thing about the Empire, because like, I think that when you're watching this show, everybody has they're rooting for Empire to survive, but the Empire is evil. We want them to fail,
right?
and so this show kind of gives you more of a idea about what the Empire's been doing and why they deserve to be crumbled and taken over. And it was a good show. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, the Bel Riose sequence or segment. So they went to the penal colony. I think it's called Lepsis, right? And Demoiselle shows up. Demoiselle, man, Demoiselle may be okay. Demoiselle, I don't know who's my favorite character. It's between Day and Demoiselle, because I like the New Day. I've always liked Demoiselle, but she doesn't play around. Yeah. So she went there and she was basically saying, "Listen, blah 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 blah." So, if you don't come, then I do have other orders, which means, I'm
she's gonna pop everybody down there. Like,
boy's like, "I don't care. I'm already dead." So, and then she led with, "Well, we do have your husband." Now, here's the thing, right? Who knew? Well, I don't know, right? But who knew that, that's those types of relationships are accepted in the Foundation, right?
Well, I was thinking about this when I was watching the second time, and I think that when you get to the end of a culture or whatever, like, all this stuff is more accepted than what would be at the beginning of a society. So you got to think about like Greece at the end of Greece, when they're whatever they're doing, all this, like, doing stuff like that was all accepted. Like, it wasn't a big deal. It was normal. And same thing with Italy or Rome. It's the same thing for them. They're like, it wasn't a big deal.
Right.
Stuff that people frowned upon 40 years ago is not a big deal today. And I think when you get that far in the future, like, it's not important. Like, that kind of stuff is not important. So I don't think it would have been a factor at all. Like 10,000 years in the future, I don't think it would be a factor. It wouldn't matter. It's like, as long as you're getting the job done, I don't think they care.
Yeah. And it's also interesting how even though they told Bel that, they killed his husband, but they did not, just to mess with him psychologically, right?
Yeah, just to mess with him, make him miserable in jail,
And
which is
also,
wrong, man.
right,
That's
but
cold blooded.
also to possibly use it as a card to play at some point, which what they're doing
Yeah.
now. So this segment was really interesting to me because so when Bel wanted to have a private discussion with Day, and they were talking, and Bel was all up in his face and everything. No, I can't do anything. I worship
He's ready
you.
to go.
You right, you're my emperor, right? And then after all that was said and done, and then Day started walking away, and he looked at him and he started smiling, not smirking, but sort of smiling. Did you see that? And
Yeah,
then
I saw it.
Bel goes in to see his husband, and Bel and his husband is all clean and everything. Bel is smelling like, pig manure and everything else. You know what I'm saying? But he cleaned up pretty well. And once he cleaned up, and then, they started getting intimate, right? And then here we go, right? So
this is the thing with when he met with Day, I don't think Day was worried. Like we saw from the other show, Day can fight.
right.
Day's got he'll chop them both up really quickly. Like that's not even the issue.
Yeah, for real. He's got skills. But my point is, and then Bel and Gladwin, they started just getting intimate. And Day and Demoiselle was
watching him.
right?
That was wild to me that they're sitting there watching.
And Day was getting excited watching it, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Rubbing his head like, "Yo, it's gonna be all right."
So here's my question to you. And I'm looking at that whole segment and I'm like, wow, you know what? It would not surprise me. And you tell me what you think. If Day and Bel had some sort of a relationship. Because again, when he walked away, he was smiling at him like, it's good to see you. And, he didn't kill his husband. He didn't kill him. He just put him in a penal, facility.
It was a whack punishment. It was 7 years? Like, how many years was it?
6 years. He was there for 6 years,
Yeah.
But again, the way he walked away and the way he smiled at him, in a way Bel was able to speak to him, and we do know that the new Day is a little bit rogue. He's okay with trying new things. Who knows, right? Just saying, just putting it out there.
He's got robot. I don't think he's messing with the other side. Like
but he's Day. He's Day. He can do anything.
He can do whatever he wants.
He can do whatever he wants.
You know what? That's a good point. At some point in time, they're probably like they're bored. They just do whatever. They don't care. But I do think that with Bel, he's very trusted with like Empire trusts him.
Yeah.
Like he's an excellent general. And you can tell when he walked on the ship's the
20th fleet.
Yeah, when he walked on the fleet and on top the whatever, I forgot the name is. For when he walked into the ship or whatever.
The bridge.
Everybody, they saluted the bridge. That's what I'm looking for. I work on boats too, man. I don't know what you can think about it. Yeah. So he walked on the bridge, and everybody was saluting him out of respect. So he's very strong. Like people respect him. He has the will of the people behind him, and that's powerful as somebody who's a commander. Because you want people that are willing to die for them to die for you in your cause. If you say, the Emperor gives us a terrible command, but this guy, our general, says we can do it, we're gonna do it. That's what you need. You need people that are gonna follow the general no matter what, even if it seems like all is lost. And so it makes sense that Day would want somebody like that running the fleet and checking out what's going on with Foundation. Like it makes sense. And I think as a character wise, so far we've seen of him, I think that guy is a good actor, and you feel like, this is gonna be real interesting, the dynamic between the two of everybody.
Yeah, he's
between the Emperor and everybody else.
Yeah, he's a good actor, like just in anything else too. He's just like he's banging. He's really good. His number one officer, her name was She Bends Light, as in she bends light.
Yeah, that's the spacer. What was it called? That's the whatever Where are they? Where they're modified to handle being in space.
Oh, they have they do it a little differently there, So when they do the jumps, I forget what it's called,
Mhm.
but it's number one, the female. Her name is she
Yeah,
brings
yeah.
light.
She handles that.
Hmm. Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
cool,
she handles the space jump for them. They
Yeah.
gotta go in the cryopods.
Right, exactly. When Harry took over the beggar to presumably go
Mhm,
to Ignis, they didn't go there. They went somewhere else, this old mining
mhm.
colony, or which was pretty cool. That when I first saw that, I was like, "Ooh, this sort of reminds me of Dune," because they're coming over the
Yeah.
sand, right? And I'm just like, "Oh, this is
It
pretty cool."
yeah, it reminded me of Dune. Remember that
Mhm.
season in The Expanse when they went to that planet and all of the robots or whoever started jacking up the planet? That's what it reminded me of.
Yes,
That
exactly.
what was it? The fifth season? I can't remember what season it was, but there was that season they went to the planet
Yeah.
that the protoplasm. All right, we're getting
Mhm.
off topic, but that's
No,
exactly what it
that
reminded me
was the
of.
fifth.
The
That was
robot
the
thing.
fifth season. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but what was cool about this is, or interesting was, okay, so they had these robots to mine whatever they were mining, right?
Mhm.
And then they programmed them so that once they like completely
Yeah.
depleted,
Get rid of the people.
get rid of
That's
the people.
crazy.
And so they're still alive, and that's why they were like sort of after, Gail and
Mhm.
Salvor and Harry. When they first flew into the planet and they were showing the statue with the hand, I was like, oh, they're gonna land on the hand, right? But they did not.
Eventually, they did.
Eventually they did, So that was a cool scene. I'm not quite sure who Kella is or Kelly is. Who is that person?
I
Why
have
is
no
she
idea.
significant?
I have no idea.
She
I'm
is
very
very
interested to find
interesting.
out though, because she seemed like she knew what's going on. So
Yeah. Mhm. The third segment was, Hobart Mallard and also the
Hobart
clerics.
Valor.
And the
Yeah,
clerics,
yeah.
and Polly and, Brother Constant. And they went to this
Mhm.
like, this new planet which looked like any major city in the world,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. That segment reminded me of like Stargate when they go to one of those planets and
Right.
there's all this stuff going on. The
Exactly.
different customs.
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of. Instantly, I was like Stargate.
Yeah, it was really cool. I mean, like, this episode, the production value was it was like just off the chain. 100. Just 100%.
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
this guy who's the commander who's in charge, he's killing people with this huge spike, the Titan spike. He's just dropping his
Mhm.
joint down into people's chests.
Bro, that's wild, man. That is wild.
Like, what is that? That's so barbaric. I mean, to be in the future,
Yeah.
and yeah, I'm just like,
But
wow.
that's the thing.
So,
They're on the outer rim, so like technology's got to be at a premium down
right,
there.
exactly.
So like they got nothing to work with, so they got to keep
Hmm.
everybody in line somehow.
Right.
That seems like militaristic a country or planet or whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
They're run by the
exactly.
military.
Yeah. So, who is Hobart Ballard? I mean, why is he so significant? I'm not
He's
quite sure
I
yet.
don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know because so I was thinking about this because so psychohistory is just like a theory about what's going to happen, like grand things are going to happen in the future,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
And then this is real specific. So now the question is the monument connected to the Wi-Fi? Is it pulling data from the rest of the planets in the universe, or is this all just a guess? Like, how would you know that this person's gonna be born 100 years from now? How
Hmm.
would you know that's like it's gotta be pulling data from something.
Yeah, it's that's the
It
interesting
has to
thing
be because
because you don't
there's
know
no
if it's
way.
like you don't know if it's the radiant, you don't know if it's the vault. I mean, it's 100 years
Yeah,
in the future, 150 years in the past. I mean, all these moving parts, and you
it's gotta be pulling
really,
data from somewhere. It has
yeah.
to be. It's gotta
So,
connect to the internet.
but do you think though? Okay, so but do you think that the prime radiant
Mhm,
is, let's just say the prime radiant, it's math, so let's just say that it's like just it's a super algorithm with crazy
mhm.
machine learning, right?
Yeah.
So what it
Okay. Yeah.
does based on psychohistory, it makes assumptions. The AI, the algorithm gets better, you
Mhm.
know, in time. And so it's pulling characters, it's pulling names, it's pulling planets, it's everything.
Yeah, it
It's
has to be. It
Yeah,
has
it
to
has
be.
to
That's the
be.
only way this would work.
Yeah.
So I think that there has to been like it's looking for a type of person
Mm-hmm.
who fits that mold, and that's the person you need to do for the next crisis.
Yeah.
That's the thing I got, because that would be ridiculous that he wrote in this code 100 years from now there's gonna be somebody born named this, and you're gonna need them later on. It
Yeah.
has to be still pulling data
Right.
from somewhere on the wherever the internet is in that region, wherever they're calling the internet, the matrix, whatever you're calling it. It has to be pulling data from that thing,
Right. Mm-hmm.
and still doing the calculations, and that's what's telling you how it's going to diverge based on the mathematics of it.
Yeah.
The
What do you think
calculations,
about
whatever?
What do you think about that device he had where he was like transporting two people, and the guy
That was
thought it was
cool,
the
but
wrist,
again,
but it was in his mouth?
Stargate.
Yeah.
That's a Stargate thing.
Right. It kind of. I was
Stargate
listening.
has stones that do the same thing.
I was
Literally
listening.
Stargate.
I was listening to a podcast, and they said Hobart Mallory sort of reminds them of Han Solo, right?
Mhm.
And I was like, well, no. And I was thinking, no, not really, because at some point, Han Solo like really knew that he was a part of the solution, right?
Mhm.
Hobart Mallory does not realize that. He's just like someone out there ripping things off, trying to take stuff. He's just a pirate, basically. You know, he doesn't care about saving the Foundation or anything like that.
Yeah, so, well, we'll find out what happens in the next episode now that he got him, and what his role in this is going to be. I don't know. I don't know if it's attached to the books. I don't know if this is just some random thing they did to kill time for the next season. I have no idea.
Yeah.
He seems like an interesting character. I'm not mad at him. Like, he seems like an interesting character. I like people that are clever and they're not idiots.
Yeah.
Anyone who's not an idiot, I'm like, I'm on board with
Like,
that. Let's
yay,
go.
no idiots. I love it. You know, for real.
We get so many shows full of stupid people. I'm like, this is
Oh my
good.
goodness, dude.
Finally.
Okay, episode number 3, King and the Commoner. What are you going to rate this episode?
I give it an 8. I like where it's going. This stuff's interesting. And now that Harry has a body, it can be more interesting. He can do things now. Because he's just walking around with the cube. Like, you can only do so much with that storyline. So now he can actually go, and I think he's going to build the second foundation. So, like, we're starting to get momentum into something.
Yeah.
And I like the episode. I've always loved the dynamic between Day and Empire. Like, I like that stuff. So palace intrigue is awesome to me. They need to do more of that. And so, like, I think the show's moving in a good pace right now. So yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
What'd you think about it?
Yeah, I thought this was an 8 too. I love the slow burn of this this show. Just like it's almost like Silo was a slow burn. The Expanse, like really, really good sci-fi shows is a slow burn. And this was just a really good slow burn. I mean, they introduced these two characters last episode, but didn't show us, right? And now they showed us these characters. And I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. Demoiselle keeps like shining. Day is bananas. Again, I don't know if Day or Demoiselle is my favorite character.
I can't pick. It's a flip a coin.
I can't pick.
I like
yeah,
both
exactly. You know,
Yeah.
Ben Daniels is really good. He's a rock star. So yes, I'm giving this an 8. Keo gave it an 8. Can't wait till the next episode because it's not like cliffhangers because you know what it's all about. They're not playing with cliffhangers.
They put the pieces down. Now we're gonna see how everything fits
exactly.
out. But I like the show. Overall, I like the show a lot.
This show is banging, man.
Even when Gail's crying all the time, I still like the
show. Exactly. Well, there you have it. Thanks for checking out another episode of the Behind the Groove podcast. I am Basil Barrington.
I am DJ Keo.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And until next time, peace.
All right.